the vegan who told me how to live. My name's Daniel, and I've never been the type to shove my way of living down someone else's throat. Eat what you want, drink what you want, pray how you want, or don't pray at all. As long as it doesn't harm me or mine, I don't care. Unfortunately, not everyone shows the same courtesy. It all started on a Tuesday. I'd gone into my local cafe during my lunch break, the one just down the street from where I worked. It was small, cozy, smelled of roasted beans and buttered croissants. I ordered my usual medium latte with whole milk, double shot of espresso, and one of their ham and cheese croissants. I'd barely settled into my seat when I felt the weight of someone's eyes on me. I looked up and saw her. A woman maybe in her mid-30s, short hair, sharp chin, the type of face that always looks faintly disapproving. She had a reusable water bottle plastered with slogans like "Plants have protein too" and "Dairy is scary." At first, I ignored her. She was seated 2 tables over, sipping something green and pulpy. But then she got up, walked straight to my table, and without so much as a hello, said, "You know that croissant is filled with suffering, right?" I blinked. "Excuse me?" "The ham," she said, gesturing like I was holding a live pig bleeding out in my hands. "Do you know what pigs go through? Torture, confinement, slaughter, all so you can get your little 5-minute snack." I frowned. "Lady, I'm just trying to eat my lunch." She sat down without being invited. "And I'm trying to save your soul from contributing to the exploitation of animals. You don't need to eat meat. You don't need dairy. You don't need to live like that." My appetite vanished. I set my croissant down, irritation bubbling. "Look, I didn't ask for your opinion." She smiled like she'd won something. "That's what they all say before they realize the truth. You could be healthier, happier, more enlightened if you stopped living like a carnist. Why would you choose cruelty when you could choose compassion?" That was the first time she told me to live like her. It wouldn't be the last. Over the next few weeks, I saw her everywhere. At first, I thought it was coincidence. She showed up in the cafe 2 more times, always carrying her mason jar of blended greens, always eyeing my food choices with judgment. Then she appeared at my gym. I was on the treadmill, sweating through a run when I saw her reflection in the mirror. She was lecturing the poor front desk worker about stocking whey protein. The kicker? She eventually joined my evening yoga class. That's when I learned her name, Melissa. Melissa was not just vegan. Melissa was evangelical about it. Every pose, every water break, she managed to slip in some comment. You'd stretch deeper if your muscles weren't clogged with animal fat. Ever notice how sluggish people get after eating meat? That's their bodies literally struggling to digest a corpse. You'd look younger if you gave up dairy. Cow milk is for calves, not grown men. It didn't matter that no one asked. It didn't matter that we all tried to smile and nod politely. She spread her gospel like she was saving us from eternal damnation. I started avoiding the cafe. I started leaving the gym earlier. But she kept popping up like mold in a damp bathroom. And then she crossed a line. One Friday afternoon, my office had a small celebration. Nothing fancy, just a couple of pizzas, some soft drinks, a way to thank the team for wrapping up a difficult project. Everyone gathered in the break room, plates piled high with pepperoni, chicken, cheese, the works. Guess who waltzed in? Melissa. I still don't know how she got in. Maybe she knew someone in the building, maybe she tailed me from lunch. But there she was, arms folded, eyes sweeping across the room like she'd stumbled into a crime scene. "You people disgust me," she announced. Conversation died. A slice of pizza froze halfway to my coworker's mouth. "Do you know how many animals died for this table?" she continued, her voice sharp. "Do you know the environmental destruction you're contributing to? Do you know what you're putting in your bodies?" The room was silent. Then laughter broke out, uncomfortable and nervous. Someone muttered, "Who invited her?" But Melissa wasn't done. She turned to me specifically, locking eyes. "You," she said. "You should be ashamed. Still guzzling milk like a baby cow, still stuffing yourself with dead animals. When will you learn? When will you stop living like a barbarian?" That was it. That was the moment she made it personal. I'm not a vengeful man by nature, but there's a special kind of rage reserved for people who believe they're entitled to dictate how you live. Melissa had pushed and pushed, and now she'd pushed too far. So I decided to push back. Revenge, in my mind, isn't about violence or cruelty. It's about balance, about making sure someone who dishes out misery gets a fair serving of it themselves. Melissa wanted to make my life her business. Fine. I'd make hers mine. I started small, gathering intel. She was loud about her lifestyle, which made it easy. She ran a blog called Plant Over Flesh. She posted daily videos preaching about veganism. She bragged about her cruelty-free skincare, her zero-waste shopping, her clean eating. But the more I dug, the more cracks I found. She lived in an apartment notorious for thin walls, and I had a friend who lived 2 doors down from her. He told me she often ordered delivery late at night. Interesting. I checked the delivery apps. Bingo. Under her name, I found records of late-night orders, vegan meals most of the time. But not always. Once in a while, she ordered things that weren't so plant-based. A cheesy quesadilla here, an egg sandwich there. It wasn't much, but it was enough. The hypocrisy was my weapon. I started showing up at her public talks. Melissa loved to host vegan awareness meetups in parks and libraries. She'd set up banners, pass out pamphlets, and lecture anyone who stopped long enough to listen. One sunny Saturday, I stood in the crowd, letting her drone on about purity of lifestyle. She raised her voice, saying, "Real vegans never cave. Real vegans don't let cravings control them. It's about integrity." That's when I struck. "Funny," I called out, loud enough for the crowd to hear, "because I saw you order an egg sandwich last week." Heads turned. Melissa froze. "What?" she snapped. I pulled out my phone, flipping to the screenshot I'd taken of her delivery receipt. "Melissa, right? Apartment 3C? Ordered from Benny's Deli at 11:47 p.m. Egg and cheese on a bagel?" The murmurs started. People shifted uncomfortably, some whispering, some glaring at her. "That's a lie," she barked. "He's lying." I smiled, cool as ice. "I've got receipts, literally." Melissa's face went red. She stammered, sputtered, but the damage was done. The crowd dispersed, muttering. Some tossed her pamphlets into the trash on their way out. That was just the beginning. Word spread quickly. I didn't even have to work hard. Her own followers turned on her, demanding answers in the comments of her blog. Screenshots of her non-vegan orders started circulating. People began calling her a fraud. Melissa tried to do damage control, posting a video titled "Exposing the Lies Spread About Me." She claimed I was stalking her, that I'd faked everything, that I was trying to destroy her. But by then, I had more. Through my friend in her building, I got audio of her arguing with a delivery driver. The driver had mixed up her order, accidentally giving her a chicken burrito instead of the vegan version. Instead of sending it back, she admitted on recording, "Fine, whatever, I'll eat it. Just don't tell anyone." That clip went viral. Her credibility collapsed overnight. Invitations to speak dried up. Her blog views tanked. Sponsors cut ties. But I wasn't done yet. The final nail came when I hosted a little event of my own. I rented a small space at the library under the guise of a healthy lifestyle workshop. I spread word online, made it sound like a community building event. People showed up, curious. Melissa showed up too, no doubt eager to sabotage me. When the room was full, I stood at the front and said, "Today I want to talk about honesty and lifestyle choices, about people who tell others how to live while secretly living differently themselves." And then I played the recording. Melissa's voice filled the room. "Fine, whatever, I'll eat it. Just don't tell anyone." Gasps erupted. Melissa bolted to her feet, shrieking, "You can't do this. This is harassment. He's twisting everything." But it was too late. People were filming. People were laughing. She stormed out, humiliated. That was the last time I ever saw her in public. Life went back to normal after that. No more ambushes at the cafe. No more lectures at the gym. No more shaming at the office. I could eat my ham and cheese croissant in peace. Melissa vanished from social media a month later. Her blog went dark. Her YouTube channel was deleted. Whatever she did next, she did quietly. And me? I learned something important. Revenge isn't always about destruction. Sometimes it's about exposure, about turning the mirror back on someone so they can see exactly what they are. Melissa wanted me to live like her. In the end, she couldn't even live like her. And that, to me, was the sweetest justice of all. Like and subscribe. Share if this happened to you or someone you know.